this tweet. Hadir says the term cultural appropriation is sometimes used to describe the act of borrowing aspects of another culture. But what if you're from among that culture? What's the difference between appropriation and appreciation? Because you've, designed, but you've also been criticized for using African prints in your designs.
Exactly. I think when you, especially when it comes to religion, when it's things that people use in their religion and things that are close to their traditions and their morals, I think that's where you start figuring out where that line is. If it's every day where, like, for instance, my head is wrapped today as an African woman, this is what we do every day. So for turbans to be in style last year, turbans are everywhere. So, I mean, it's something that is like no one's going to get an uproar about it, but when it's very specific, like that dress is very specific, I think you really need to say, okay, well, what is this? What am I selling? That's a huge retailer to not know what they're selling.
But you specifically, why were you criticized for using
I'm
African
not sure why I'm criticized. I mean, I am African, so I think like when I use African print in my work, if my collection is majority African print, then it's too costumey, it's too this and it's too that. But Michael Kors and, Diane from Furstenberg can do the same exact print and take that print and actually copy the print and put it on silk and chiffon, and it's beautiful, it's trendy, it's exotic. And that really is offensive to me. I have more right than anyone to do it because this is who I am, and I know where to draw that line. I know when, I'm kind of pushing it, and I know when I'm exploiting my own culture, which I'm not. I'm doing because there's a beauty in it for me. I'm just naturally attracted to these things, and I should be able to carry a line that shows who I am in my work without someone saying, well, it's too this and it's too that. But these same people can turn around and do it and make more money than I can ever make.
Kato, you were just describing some of the adjectives that are used to describe your work, and it's interesting because part of the problem with this lies in the way that designs of non-Western cultures are described. Take a listen to this report on a fashion trend that was marketed as tribal.
Loving fall's tribal trend? Well, don't worry, you don't have to say goodbye to it just yet. Designers showed off tribal influences with muted earth tones, brushstroke prints, and cool cutouts. The legendary Michael Kors showed zebra, leopard, and cheetah prints, cargo trenches, and breezy caftans, inspired by his trip to South Africa. Hervé Leger updated their iconic bandage dresses with an African flair. Cool metallics, daring cutouts, and gladiator sandals polished off this warrior tribal collection. While Diane von Furstenberg also drew inspiration from Africa, but instead of channeling a colonial or safari vibe, Diane von Furstenberg went with a modernist approach with sophisticated prints and drapey dresses. Donna Karan also showed a bevy of safari influences, brushstroke tribal prints, spiked necklaces, and earthy tones, inspired by a recent trip to Haiti. Our favorite look was this body-hugging, embellished black and tan stunner. Make sure to keep tribal influences in mind come spring,